back, my friends, and today I'm going to bring you a review of the French Tier 6 tank destroyer, the ARL V39. And I'm going to be comparing it to the other Tier 6 105mm armed tank destroyer and the other Tier 6 tank destroyer with a tumor on top, and the other adaptation of a heavy tank's hull with a tank destroyer into a tank destroyer, I guess. Actually, I'm not quite sure about that. So first off, it has 2300 DPM, which is the fourth best of any tank destroyer at this tier. It's beat by both Germans and the gun carrier. It's got 165 millimeters of pen, which is rather lackluster at this tier. For tank destroyers, that is. So yeah, that's the downside to it. It has 310 alpha, which is the second highest at this tier. The only bigger alpha gun at this tier is the SU-100. Y, wait, there's two more. SU-100 and SU-100Y, which have 460 and 400 respectively, I think. Did I say that right? Maybe. And it has 7.42 rounds per minute, which is exceptionally fast for 105. And an 8.09-second reload, which is 2 seconds better than the Dicker Max, the other 105mm armed tank destroyer. It is a 1 in 5. As I said, it has 850 meters per second shell velocity, which is better than Dicker Max with its 105. So it is better in everything except for penetration so far than the other 105mm tank destroyer. But it's only 850 meters per second, which can feel slow. 1.9-second aim time, which is rather bad, to be honest, especially compared to the AT8, 1.54 seconds. Crazy. Dispersion, 0.353 is awful. Really awful. Well, not as bad as the Soviet ones. It is worse than almost every other one at this year, I'm pretty sure. On movement and rotation, it is also really not great, 0.22. So don't take snapshots with this. Depression is it's not horrible, but it's still only 6 degrees compared to the 15 on the Digger Max, which is best in class. 10 on the gun carrier, which is amazing. But the gun carrier has a really low slung gun, so yeah. Just like this thing. Aiming arc is 7 degrees in either direction, which is not bad. Top speed is 45 kilometers an hour, which is actually pretty good. And 14 in reverse, which is alright, I suppose. Engine horsepower is 495 compared to 385 on the Digger Max, so it's a really mobile tank destroyer, except for traverse rates. Effective horsepower, no, not effective. Horsepower per ton ratio is 19 horsepower per ton, which is amazing. However, it's effectively only 16.5, 13.4, and 10.6 due to rather bad ground resistances. But that still beats out most of the other tanks in this comparison. Credit coefficient, we don't know. View range is surprisingly it's rather bad. Only 253 compared to 264 on the Digger Max, which I believe is the max that the max of any tier 6 tank destroyer, possibly. Health, it has 780, which in fact is the lowest. I believe that is bugged. It should be somewhere around 850, like the gun carrier. So it's kind of like what happened with BDR. BDR first originally started out with having 650 max health, and it's now 780. So this thing definitely feels like it does not have enough health. It weighs 26 tons, which is by far not the heaviest in this comparison or at this tier. Especially since the gun carrier, which is a Churchill hull, remember that. So it does weigh a lot. 88, of course, has a lot of armor, so it weighs a lot. Hull armor in this thing is not bad. 60, 40, and 60. It can bounce occasionally due to mantlet, but when I say it's not bad, it's not wafer thin like the Dicker Max. 50 is only where is 50 on the Dicker Max? So, mantlet is 50 millimeters thick on Dicker Max. Other than that, it's 20. It's not a paper tank, which is good. but it still can get HE through the front by KV2s and SU-152s. So, I mean, its own gun can HE. It's tumor on top. And then it has no turret armor because it has no turret. I don't know why the other tanks are listed as having turret armor. They don't have turrets, which is weird. Um, yeah. So this thing, while it's thinner than the gun carrier's armor, it's angled or sloped slightly, so it's probably the same effective thickness. And this thing's gun is mounted low, but not as low as the gun carrier's, because the gun carrier has about 1.5 meters of casement above its gun. This thing only has 1 meter of tumor on top. So yeah, I will show you in game now, I suppose. All right, we are back. I told you I was going to show you the model in game. So it is remarkably similar to an ARL 44 hull, which I suppose should be, well, shouldn't be a surprise since it is called the ARL V39. And it has 105mm, the same as the 105 available in the ARL, but the 90mm is better in the ARL for reasons. It has this massive tumor on top, which is a machine gun port to cover the rear of this vehicle from infantry attacks. Is my guess as to why it's there. And you can see that it's not really tall, not at all. And it's not, the only thing that's tall about it is that stupid turret. But I'm going to show you something peculiar with this tank. I'm drowning. Yes, this thing will drown in any water you put it in. It's so low, and I mean, this is Canyon. I don't know of any other tank that will actually drown in here. You'll get this warning, this one right here, but you won't start drowning. I mean, there may be a couple other ones, but that is peculiar to me. Um, it also has, well, I believe it's got 30 degrees of elevation, so that's good. And look at that. Just already half my tank was in the water right there. Um, yeah. Anyways, that's what I wanted to show. All right, time for some actual battles this time around. We are on Canal. We are bottom tier. They have Iron or AI is a decent clan. Um, they're no Unicums or Super Unicums, but they are decent. And I'm sure they have 60%ers. A lot of clans have 60%ers. Not every clan, but a lot. Um, that is the tier 7, which I have researched and I have bought and I have played. Of course, that's why this review is being recorded the same night as my previous video, the worship video. So, yay for having plans. And by the time this video goes out, I probably have the tier 8 researched. It depends on how much I play. I enjoyed playing this tank. However, I did not enjoy it enough for me to want to actually keep it. So unlike the S35CA and the UE57, I am probably going to sell this tank as soon as I finish recording this video. Um, it's it's not a bad tank, not by any means. It's just not a tank I see myself playing a lot of all the time. Anyways, what do you think of me going into the training room to show off the peculiar um, ability for this tank to drown in any water? We just hit him, low rolled, but set him on fire, so that's 500 damage already. First shot of the game, amazing. Now we're going to hide behind a building until our camera resets, and I know that I have an 8.1 second reload, so by the time I reload, I just have to wait 2 seconds, and I will be unspotted. Unless I am, of course, within range of being spotted by everything, in which case I'm, of course, going to stay spotted. You saw I just got a bounce, and something did pen me, and it was 200 alpha, and another thing bounced. The mantlet on this thing, well, it has no mantlet. What am I saying, mantlet? The angling on this thing meant that it brought the 45, I don't know how thick the hull actually is. I haven't not seen any of these tanks in Armor Inspector. But I don't know, so I don't know exactly how thick it is, but it brought it up to an angle at which they could not overmatch. And our second shot got a kill, so we have 2 shots out and 620 damage. So actually exactly average, plus a kill. Who knew? We're going to wait for our camera to reset and do it again. let's see. I did bounce. It's only 165 pen, of course, unlike the 212 on the 44s, 90 millimeters, ARL 44. That's what I mean, 90 millimeters. So, anyways, we are now going to shoot this IS because higher tier equals more XP, even though I don't need XP. And that's our second shot out. So we've fired 4 shots so far, so around 1200 damage, which unfortunately is my average for this vehicle. I have had some really awful games in this tank, and that's really damaged my stats. I mean, I'm still 68% win rate or something, but it was 76. Yeah, oh, what can I say? I have not aced this tank. The one game that I could have aced it, I did 3,500 damage and I still lost. It was only a second class. Okay, so we did 1,300 damage on our first shot of the game against tier 7. Was a burning, a fire, a burning. Wow, fire. And then, yeah, not bad, not bad, not bad. We actually came fourth on team on damage. Right where we should have been. Yeah, I guess. Anyways. Alright, time for our second battle on Falls Creek. I believe I'm going to do maybe, it depends on how fast this battle is. 3 battles, I guess, because I want to shorten the length of these videos. And I'm not having as much fun as my S35CA video, which had 2 Colabenos, and I got some delightful comments about my reactions, but I was up for 16 hours, and it was almost midnight, and how often do you get 2 Colabenos in 4 games because of stupid enemies? But yeah, I realized that I overreacted a bit, but you know, it's in the past and I'm not changing it. I think it's funny. Anyways, I had one of my friends who you've seen on this channel, I think Crimson Discord. Um, he's complaining that the French tier 5s have so overpowered DPM, and the BDR used to have 3200 DPM, of course. The S35C8 does not have nearly that big much DPM. It's only 2200, but before the equipment changes, it would probably have been 2400 or something like that. Anyways, our first shot of the game did do damage. However, we did take a hit in return, and like I said, this thing has really bad health, um, which is really silly. But what can I say? It's a problem that's been shown before when Wargaming releases new tanks for this game. They keep either PC health or slightly above that. And it's not great. Because this thing can get two-shotted by KV-1S. It's basically a guaranteed one-shot with HE by KV-2. It's not great when your tank can die so quickly. If I had had more health, I could have won my 3,500 damage game and maybe ace this tank. But as it is, I didn't, and that guy is, I believe, using the derp on his stock VK2801, so he did miss, and now we have a KV2 approaching our rear. Oh joy. I just love this team. We are now still losing by 2. We even got a kill, and we're still losing. That guy turned his turret just in time to make it an angle that I could not pen. And, yeah, now I'm probably going to die to him. No, I did not die, but I did lose a fair amount of health. And I don't think I can out DPM this guy. Especially if he has help. Can I? I can actually out reload him. However, I'm dead now. And just like that, our team has failed. I don't understand what went wrong with this team. They all sat over here, I guess, and did nothing. But I got a kill, I did 1200 damage, and this T150 should have killed that T67. Instead, he's going to die before he has a chance at another shot. Yep. Top tier heavy tank. Best players ever. Um, if I hadn't I wouldn't say that. If I had hit more of my shots, I would have done more damage, of course, and it may have changed the outcome of the game. I only fired 7, hit 6, penned 5. Wow, I did a lot more damage than I thought. Okay then. Okay, this is my final attempt to get a good battle. If not, I'm going to select the best battle and use it as my last one. Um, yeah, okay. We are top tier Port Bay encounter. We're not as top tier as the last one, which had 12 tier 6s and 2 tier 5s, which is good because I love wrecking tier 5s. Yeah, the last battle, which you may or may not see, in fact, you may or may not see this one. My gun was just utter garbage, and it could not roll for average. And my team's going right. I don't like going right on this map, especially when they have more heavy tanks than us. I don't know what to think of this. And of course, the leopard's gonna stop right there. Yep. Yeah, just randomly stopping in places. I mean, when I randomly stop in places, it's at least in a place where I can get shots or attempt to. I'm too aggressive. How about I back it up? And there's somebody over there. That's somebody. As soon as I get spotted, I'm going to get hurt if they have anybody back there. But what did I say about taking snapshots with this tank? It's not worth it. And a low roll by 50 damage. Or 49 to be precise. A low roll by 12. And that was a frame rate. That was frames. What is going on? 14 frames per second is not acceptable. However, that Churchill one is dead. If my frames... Okay, Leopard. That shot missed. My frames are just being horrid right now. I don't understand why. I don't... Well, you know, I have it set to 30 frames per second. I usually get 30 frames per second. 264. I'm using standard rounds, 310 alpha on average. Another below 300 damage roll. 4 damaging hits this game, not one of them actually did the average. Wow. Just crazy. And we shouldn't be spotted, maybe? If we're lucky. There we go, we brought it back, so it's now a 3v3. However, they have a full health crew, which we bounced off of. Who we bounced off of. Use proper English, maybe. As if. And then the crew is going to get the kill. Tracks. And once again, my frames are 20 frames per second. What is going on? 20 FPS is just downright awful. Tracks. What is going on? What a stupid team. I give up. I've played 7 battles doing this review. I've won twice. Hooray! What is going on? I dropped from a 68% win rate in a tank to a 64%. Anyways, I'm done with this video. My game's not... something's messed up, and it's framey and lag, and... oh, I'm so mad. I'm getting the stupidest teams, and it's pathetic. Really, it is. And I give up. I've been doing this for an hour and a half, nearly. Anyways, if you enjoy what I do and enjoy hearing me rage quit, please don't forget to hit the like button down below, subscribe if you're new, and comment that I am not happy right now. And with all that being said, I'll have to say, see y'all, have fun, stay safe, and bye. Bye.